Why is life so scary? I am scared of the future and controlled by the past. I am just stuck in my head and have nothing I can do about it. I was there for about 7 hours today. I wish I could lie to you and say, like, well, all you have to do is just... I was freaking out for literally 7 hours about that today. Also, thank you, Silpha, for gifting a sub to job applications from TikTok. TikTok might be a good place to, like, look, actually. Let's figure that out. We're gonna probably also have to make a cover letter. Okay, so here's the first one. We also have a lot of really cool games that we were looking at from, like, the last Indie Horror Showcase, but that's neither here nor there. If you are very anxious about the idea of getting a job, think of it like roleplay. Think of it like, this is so stupid, but think of it like I'm just presenting to you like something completely abstract. Like, that helps me a lot. I should not mention this because it's stupid. It makes me look stupid, but I'm gonna just be real with you. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a funny thing to do. So that's what I would recommend, honestly, baby. I like roleplay. Okay, good. I think personally, and I didn't know about this until like later in life, but if you have autism or like ADHD, well, not ADHD, but like I also have ADHD. But if you have autism, you hate when there's no rules. Like, you hate when there's no set of written down rules. We're not ERPing now. No set of written down rules. So one of the things that often comes up is like, if you're applying for a job, you don't know what you're getting into and you're filled with a sense of dread and anxiety because a lot of, needs a lot of structure. You want to have that fixation on how to do things from point A to point B to point C to get it done. And then there's also, you may have been mocked in the past for not knowing how to do things and people just kind of intuiting things socially, and you were unable to figure that out, so you stood out and you got made fun of and all this other stuff, and maybe you've even had a job where those things have occurred, so now you're like, I don't want to try that again. So what I would recommend in this case, going for a job that you can do online. It doesn't have to be Discord. We're gonna look at a few different places. I'm sorry to everyone with autism and anxiety that's here today having a mental breakdown too. Looking for a job is so soul-sucking? Well, it definitely is, and you might not get a job, and it might be something where you face a lot of rejection. But rejection is actually something that can help you. It's like getting used to rejection is a tool. I got used to a rejection a lot because I've done a few different types of jobs where like you send in like short stories or like you do stuff like that, and like you get tons of rejection. You get tons and tons and tons. There's nothing wrong with those things. It just means if you have autism, if you have ADHD, there might be a type of job that might be applied. Thank you for the heads up. Yo, let's go. That's wonderful. You might be more suited to something where you're working inside. That was definitely close. My boss on my first job just straight up ghosted me and quietly fired me because I didn't know what to do. That's very unfortunate. That's a very traumatic experience and it sucks, but you might have to push yourself back into another experience where you already have those anxieties, and that's going to be like the blueprint that you have, so it's going to be harder to do it. But I believe that you can. Don't mention your disability until after you get the job. Yes, never bring up that you have any sort of issues. If you were applying for the job, you are the most stable, most sane, least autistic person that you've ever met, and you go like, hey, what's up? To the best of your ability. And if you think that you look stupid doing that, don't worry. You probably don't, but you probably just are like, they're never gonna fall for this. They know I like Pokemon cards. Also, you don't have to get a job. This is like just, I don't know, this is interesting. I'm gonna try to teach you to the best of my ability how to apply for a job, I guess. Hi, Novel, what's up? Yo! How you doing? That's Novel Horizons, pray for him. So a lot of these are going to be things where, how do I put this? They're from home, but you do need to kind of be on point when it comes to like doing your job and like figuring out how to do it. That being said, don't go crazy and have a mental breakdown. Like, you might be thinking like, oh, I can do this. Oh God, I'm doing it wrong. Everyone hates me. Oh God. That's not a good place to get into. It's gonna take some time, but I think it might be good to do a few things here. So you're probably not gonna be the senior director of internal audit. One of you might be really suited for that though. One of you guys might be really suited for auditing. You might have a background in auditing stuff. It looks like they're looking for someone in the San Francisco Bay Area. Someone's looking for an account executive for mobile gaming in Los Angeles. A manager with sales for mobile gaming in San Francisco, Los Angeles. And then let's see here. Also, a lot of these might also be like things you click on and it's like, hey, online. So these are all San Francisco Bay Area. So I assume they're probably not San Francisco Bay. These might almost be San Francisco Bay Area. The thing is, these might be like also ones you can apply for and like do from home. I audit every day, do not recommend. Yeah, it's kind of intense. If you click, they are all remote. Yes. So that's what I was gonna say. If you find stuff that's usually San Francisco Bay Area, it's usually gonna be remote. So a lot of people go, San Francisco Bay Area. Ugh. Let's say that you're a staff, I don't know what this is. Let's say you're a data engineer. I don't know what that is. One of you might know though. So staff data engineer ads. I don't know what that is. What you can do though is you can read the description. So what you'll be doing, creating and maintaining complex enterprise scale data pipelines and foundational data sets. Well, what? What? Okay, I don't know what this means, but one of you might have been laid off recently. One of you might have the technical know-how to understand what this is saying, and one of you might understand... Okay, when they say 7 years hand-on experience, writing production code and architecting data pipeline with high-volume consumer data, and what the hell is this? They don't care if you have 7 years. What they care about is that you work like someone that knows what they're doing, to the point that you could have been doing it for 7 years consistently, and doing it well, and doing it up to the standards of someone... No, don't just lie about your... No. What you can do is you can apply and be direct, and you can say, I can do this just as well. Here are the credentials that show that I am good with this, and here are the things I have been doing that are similar. That's slang for know how to pass the interview. Yes. When they say expert level, they mean you know what you're doing and you know how to do these things. How's it going? Fake it till you make it, got it? No, you do know how to do... You have to know how to do these things. You have to know how to do these things. But if you know how to do these things, they won't usually care as much if you have that 7 years of experience. You do need some experience, but they want you to be at the point where you have the ability to, like, just... You would have been at the point where you've had 7 years of experience. You know how to do things at the point where you'd have 7 years of experience. Like, you were going to be very good. Like, so if you needed to, you could do something with someone that has 7 years of experience they could do. Yeah, I have theoretical degree in data pipeline and management. No, left, no! So that's one of them. So you might find jobs like that pretty consistently, and almost all of these are online. And see, Senior Integrations Analyst, remote. So this is another remote one. So you can apply to these and you can say, here's my credentials. There you go. Every job interview is just HR pretending they know what the position needs and a manager that will take anything with a beating heart. That is, I think it's a very good place to come from with it. So if you have any of the credentials for any of these specific jobs, you can apply for them. If you were laid off recently, if it's your first job, it might not be something where you're perfect for it, but maybe you would be. Threats Operations Specialist Child Safety. So that's something they're looking for in Australia. People have had a lot of negative opinions about what's going on in terms of Discord's child safety laws and what they're doing. This might be something where you'd have a say in like how to keep people safe and how to like maybe meet people in the middle and figure things out that would comply with laws but not be so intense. So things like that. They have an office in Australia. They probably need to. Like, they probably need to have people in Australia specifically to deal with these safety clauses.